What up, everybody? This is your boy Dedrian Colon from House of Wrestling. This is my review for the March 11th episode of AEW Rampage. Like, share, subscribe, follow House of Wrestling on all social media platforms. Follow me, Dedrian180, on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Tonight's AEW Rampage, I enjoyed it. It was fun. Coming right off of watching SmackDown, which will be on another video. This was fun. I mean, it's a Friday night. In some parts of the country, the weather is kind of crappy. In other parts of the country, people are out and about and probably pre-gaming before they go out and everything. But no, this was a really fun Dynamite. The first match and the main event, it was just fun. And that's how wrestling should be, especially when it's coming on, since I'm in Chicago, it comes on 9 p.m. Central. So it should be fun. You don't want something boring, just like, all right, let me go watch something on Netflix or HBO Max or Peacock or something like that. But no, this was a really, really fun night. And it just showcased a lot of talent, and it was dope. The first match was Darby Allin versus Mark Quinn from Private Party. Dope match. Both these guys displayed, so much athleticism, their ability, their skill set. You could probably say this for the whole night of all the matches that were on Rampage. Mark Quinn did you could call it a 450 splash on the outside to Darby Allin, which was like, damn, like, you seen his, like, thankfully his knees didn't hit the ground too hard, but it's like, ooh, damn, that's tough. But no, this was a really good match, good showcase. It was good to see Mark Quinn back in the ring. We haven't seen much of him in the ring. I really enjoyed Private Party when they first started in AEW and just the matches they were putting on. It was just so much fun to watch them. So much athleticism. They remind you of a more agile Harlem Heat in some ways. Not to the full extent, but just in some ways they do remind you of Harlem Heat. But no, this was a really cool match. Darby won with a submission. Then you had Andrade's family office now, which is what it's called now. So you had Andrade, you had Butcher and the Blade, you had his secretary. I'm trying to think of anybody else that was there. So they come out, they're down at ringside, and as they're approaching the ring, yes, Jeff Hardy and his brother Matt Hardy come out, the Hardy Boyz. They come out to their synonymous theme from WWE, which AEW purchased, along with, I believe, some other stock music or something. So the Hardys are on top of the stage, and they're full Hardys gear. And it's like, oh man, this is so cool. This is so cool to see them in 2022 coming out, and you see the Andrade family office. They leave at ringside, and you just get this shot of Darby looking at the Hardy Boyz and the Hardy Boyz looking back at Darby and Sting, and you're just like, this is going to be a match pretty soon. I wouldn't be surprised if this match is probably scheduled either the week leading up to WrestleMania or the week after WrestleMania that they schedule it, because that's a matchup right there. But no, this was a really cool match. Great work. I recommend this whole show. I recommend you guys watch it. It was so much fun. Again, it's 1 hour, so it goes by really quickly. But no, this match was really cool. And man, Darby Allin, man, that guy just keeps. He is a totally different wrestler than when he started in 2019. I believe his first match was with Jimmy Havoc. Like, that was like his first feud. And man, if you watch that match and you see how he is now, it's just night and day. The growth that he's done in the ring and just his presentation and just the confidence that it's there. Everything's there for him to go to the next level and eventually be AEW World Champion. Then we move on to a backstage segment with Dan Lambert and Scorpio Sky. This wasn't that bad. Dan Lambert got to the point, and it was cool. He was there with Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, and he basically, just to bring it all together, He was basically saying that Scorpio Sky's opponent this Wednesday is going to be Wardlow for the TNT Championship, and he's like, well, just like Zbyszko wanted Bruno to train him, which Zbyszko eventually turned on him and wanted the title, that's what Wardlow did to MJF. And it's not going to happen this Wednesday. And Scorpio Sky's like, no, I'm not going to lose. I'll see you Wednesday. And that was pretty much it. It wasn't too much to it, but I do look forward to that match. I think Scorpio Sky is going to win due to MJF's interference. I think MJF is going to cost him the title. I think it's going to happen. From there, we get a backstage segment with the House of Black. And I tweeted this. These guys are creepy. Creepy in an entertaining way. You're just like, man, this is creepy. Just uneasy feeling. And Brody King, Malachi Black, and Buddy Matthews, they pretty much say, they talk about the next rights. They talk about, I don't know who they're talking to. It could be reference to Pac. It could be reference to the Penta. Was it Eric Redbeard? Like, they never say who they're talking to, but they're talking to someone. Like, it's a message to someone. And Malachi Black talks about them having poison in their heart and their heart turning black again. It's like, huh? It wasn't so much, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, man, who the hell is he talking about? Like, who is he? Like, who are they talking to? Like, is this somebody different than the guys that they've been feuding with? Like, what's going on here? Then they talk about Buddy Matthews ends the whole video with deepest secrets. Like, we know you have deepest secrets and we know your truth. Whatever that is, I don't know. We'll see where this goes. Again, this could be Penta, Pac, Eric Redbeard. Who knows? But this is, I don't know where this is going to, but this is very interesting. I really like their style because it's so stoic and just so, like, it draws you in and you're just like, man, who the hell are they talking to? Like, they never mention any names, but they just give references of things that have transpired and what's going to happen. And you're like, all right, somebody's going to get that. From there, we get a match between Mercedes Martinez and Jamie Hayter. This was a solid match. Jamie Hayter, she had Britt Baker at ringside and Rebel. This was a pretty solid match. It wasn't like, oh my God, this is just boring. And it was a solid match. It was a good, it reminded you of the matches that Mercedes Martinez was having in NXT before her release. Solid match. She made her opponent look good. Her opponent made her look good. It was really solid. Of course, we get a distraction with Rebel and Britt Baker. She wound up hitting Mercedes Martinez, who was on the top turnbuckle after doing a crazy suplex on Jamie Hayter, which Jamie Hayter wound up doing. I can't remember what move she did, but she wound up hitting her with a move and then pinning her for the 1, 2, 3. Then all three women start beating up Mercedes Martinez, and then Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa comes down. Everybody leaves. So this is pretty much building up to next week's steel cage match between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker for the AEW Women's Championship. That should be a really good match. I would not be surprised if that main events again. By again, I mean, I would not be surprised if Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, they main event again like they did last year at, the St. Patrick's Day, I think it was a St. Patrick's Day slam. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they main event and tear the house down. I believe that will be the first AEW women's match in a steel cage ever. So that's pretty cool, pretty historic. I look forward to it. From there, we get a promo with Hikaru Shida, basically talking about Serena Deeb. And she's like, I'm going to take your head off. That's it. No nonsense. I'm going after you. And I tweeted this. I wouldn't mind if they put Shida with the Regal Moxley, like, Danielson tandem. Like, if they throw her in there as like just these gunners and stuff like that. Because Hikaru Shida's had some really good matches. It's just the circumstances surrounding her matches really didn't elevate her to what her skill set is. And she's got a really good skill set. She's very sound in the ring. It's just the circumstance surrounding her matches. And just, she had a title reign when the pandemic started. So it was just, things didn't play out, but there's something for her there. Hopefully they find it, because she is a very good wrestler, and there's something for her there. From there, we get a match between Keith Lee and QT Marshall, and yeah, Keith Lee beat the hell out of QT Marshall. That's pretty much it. QT Marshall, like always, like he did this with Hook too. Like QT Marshall, I guess they're using QT Marshall as that loudmouth Daffy Duck type that just runs his mouth, and then when he gets in the ring, he just gets his ass beat. And like, it's hysterical how he gets beat. And of course, he tried to do some offense on Keith Lee. Keith Lee, too strong. The forearm block. He did his press slam, 1, 2, 3. Aaron Solo comes in. Keith Lee just flings him, just tosses him out the ring. Then you get Nick Camarado and Keith Lee. They're just, back and forth. And then he just slams Nick Camarado. And as he's doing it and he's celebrating, Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks are at the announce booth, and they just come running down. And I've never seen a guy manhandle Powerhouse Keith Lee. Powerhouse Hobbs beat the hell out of Keith Lee. And this is going to be fun. I like this because now Powerhouse Hobbs has someone to fight that is sound in the ring. They did have him and Wardlow last year on Dynamite, but it did feel too soon. Like, it felt more that match should have been on Dark instead of Dynamite. But now with, the growth of Powerhouse Hobbs and Wardlow, now you have Keith Lee, who is a sound veteran, facing off with a young guy with so much potential in Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks. That's going to be fun. So I'm really interested to see who's going to help Keith Lee, because it's 2-on-1. And granted, Keith Lee's a powerful man. He could take on both, but it's AEW. Someone's going to help Keith Lee. I wonder who it is. Comment below of who you think is going to probably help Keith Lee in this feud with Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks. Then we get to the infamous backstage face-off with Mark Henry in the middle, and then you had Shane Strickland and Tony Nese. And Shane Strickland, Swerve Strickland, that dude got so much charisma. He's got a gift of gab. He starts talking about, hey, you know what? I beat your ass on Fridays before. Let's keep it going like we did before. We're going to just keep it going. I'm going to beat your ass again. So then, of course, Mark Henry, it's time for the main event. You get that. And then we get to the Tony Nese comes out. And I don't know if you've heard Swerve Strickland's interesting. Probably heard a little bit at Revolution. On YouTube, there is a match that he had with Nick Wayne, who's a newly signed AEW signee, in Defy. And in that match, Swerve Strickland, comes out to his entrance theme. That entrance theme is one of the best entrance themes in pro wrestling today. And I'm not saying it because, it's new. No, that is a hot entrance theme. That entrance theme, I would not be surprised if some DJ or DJs across the country starts playing it in the club, because that is a club banger. Man, I love that entrance theme. Man, Shane, when are you gonna drop that entrance theme, man? We waiting for it, man. That beat and that bass is hot. So Swerve Strickland, he comes to the ring, and the crowds are, man, they're, whose house? Swerve's house. Whose house? Swerve's house. Like, he has the crowd in his hands. And kind of going back to the face-off when him and Tony Nese was there, Swerve, he just shouts to the crowd, whose house is it? And you just hear the whole crowd, Swerve's house. AEW has something in Swerve Strickland. I know many people, I was reading comments, they're like, man, I've never really seen Shane Strickland. I knew he was in WWE, but I didn't see much of his moves or his matches. And, most people know him from his entrance theme, Shaka Khan's Ain't Nobody. But no, you look at his matches, like, man, the brother can go. And AEW has something here with Shane Strickland. Like, he's got the charisma. He's an actor. He's a rapper, musician, music producer. Like he said in his face-off, he is a mogul. And they have something there with this guy. It's going to be fun to see what this guy does in AEW with all those characters and personalities. This is going to be fun. This match between Tony Nese and Shane Strickland, Swerve Strickland, forgive me, I got to get used to it. If you saw their matches in 205 Live, this was on a little bit higher level. And given enough time and being in the main event of Rampage, that's how much AEW sees in Shane Strickland, that they have him in the main event. And I know many people, whoa, it's Rampage, it's not Dynamite. It's Rampage, it's not Dynamite. Here's what you got to understand about AEW. They shoot Elevation, Dynamite, and Rampage in the same night. So, that means Shane Strickland main evented the night that AEW was taping Dark Elevation, Dynamite, and Rampage. They wanted him to be the closing match for the night. The guy's got some, but no, you guys got to check out this match. He did a lot of moves that I've never seen him do. It was new to me. It may not be new to you, but it was new to me. Seeing him do moves like, whoa, he's quick like a cat. Like, ooh, okay, this is... he's just got a confidence, a demeanor. Of course, he wins the match. But man, he looked good in this match. I want to see more of Shane Strickland. More so because I can hear his entrance theme until that drops on YouTube or something like that, or Apple Music or Spotify. I'm like, man, Shane Strickland, Swerve Strickland, please drop that entrance theme. That is a dope entrance theme, man. But man, this was a good night of AEW Rampage. It wasn't, this, oh my God, this is just these angles or anything. I believe like from Revolution to Dynamite, like we've had so many changes to angles and everything. So I think Rampage was more just like, okay, let's just focus on the matches and just adding some layers to that and a little bit to the TNT Championship match and, the Hardy family office. Just add a little bit to that and just focus on the wrestling. But no, it was a good match or a good night. Again, I recommend you guys watch the Darby Allin Mark Quinn match, the Shane Strickland, Swerve Strickland, Tony Nese match, the Mercedes Martinez, Jamie Hayter match. You could check that out. It was a pretty solid match. It wasn't like, oh my God, it's just, ugh. No, it was a pretty solid match. If you want to watch a squash match, please watch Keith Lee and QT Marshall. That was funny. But no, this was a solid night of AEW Rampage. Next week, just to let you guys know, those of you who are AEW fans and watch AEW Rampage, next week they're going to come on right after the NCAA tournament game. So it might be 10, 11, it may vary, but it will come on after the NCAA tournament game, which would be really cool. Looking forward to it. But yeah, this is my review for AEW Rampage for March 11th. Like, share, comment, subscribe. House of Wrestling on all social media platforms. Follow me, Dedrian180, on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. And we got some more wrestling coming in the few weeks. A lot of wrestling coming in the next few weeks. So with that, like I always say, stop fighting over wrestling. Just enjoy it. We got so much wrestling here, so many wrestlers to get behind. Let's just enjoy it. All right. With that, I'm out.